All right, so get this. We're going deep into Bollywood today.
Ooh, sounds fun.
We're going to be looking at this super candid YouTube interview that Akshay Kumar and Tiger Shroff did with Ranveer Alabadia.
Oh, wow. Those two together. That's got to be entertaining.
It really is. And you know what's wild? They jump right into talking about meme culture.
Meme culture. Really?
Yeah, and we find out that Tiger Shroff's dad, Jackie Shroff, is like this meme king, apparently.
Huh. I never would have thought.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because both Akshay and Tiger are from different generations of Bollywood stars.
Yeah.
But they've both embraced this new type of humor.
It's true. I mean, you see it everywhere now.
They even use memes in their social media strategies.
Makes sense. It's how you connect with a younger audience these days.
Right. It's like this total shift in how Bollywood stars talk to their fans, and it's all thanks to the internet.
And memes.
And memes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And get this, Akshay even jokes about a meme of him and Salman Khan dancing in, like, leaf costumes.
Oh, I've seen that one. It's hilarious.
I know. Right. Like, imagine a Bollywood superstar laughing at himself in a meme.
Shows he's in touch with the times.
Doesn't it? It's like this really smart move to stay connected to, a wider audience.
Sure.
But here's the thing. They both kind of admit that maybe meme culture is filling some void left by the decline of traditional comedy films in India.
Oh, interesting.
Like, are memes the new comedy?
It makes you think, especially with how much Bollywood's changing these days.
So Tiger at one point says to Akshay, "Sir, you're the personification of testosterone."
Whoa.
Right. It's kind of true, isn't it? Akshay Kumar is known for his physique and his crazy disciplined lifestyle.
Waking up early, prioritizing health.
Always on the move. It's like...
It's inspiring, honestly.
It is. And then he drops this bomb. He wants to buy back his childhood apartment.
What? Like a superstar wants to buy back this tiny flat?
I know. You'd think he'd be living in some, like, lavish mansion, but no.
That's pretty amazing, actually.
It shows he's staying grounded, right?
Yeah.
Like, it makes you think about what success really means.
Yeah.
Tiger Shroff, he's right there with him.
Really?
He's also all about discipline, athleticism, and getting enough sleep.
It's refreshing, right? Like, they're these huge stars, but they're emphasizing balance and a healthy lifestyle.
It's so true.
Like, they're challenging that whole stereotype of the partying celebrity.
They really are. And they even bond over their love for sports.
No way. What kind of sports?
Volleyball, cricket, even tip cat.
Tip cat. Wow.
Akshay is super impressed by Tiger's athletic skills. But even with all that, Tiger admits he's not feeling as explosive as he used to.
I feel that makes you think about what it takes to stay at the top of your game.
Right, and this is where it gets interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
They talk about the physical demands of action films, and Akshay says that the hardest part isn't even the stunts.
No way. What is it then?
The downtime between takes.
Really?
He says you have to jump back into action after your body's cooled down, and that's when injuries happen.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right, so it's not just about the cool moves you see on screen.
Yeah, there's a whole other side to it.
And then they talk about this Akshay Kumar formula.
Formula? What's that?
So Tiger admires Akshay's work ethic, his focus, and how he bounces back from setbacks.
He doesn't dwell on flops, does he?
Nope, he just keeps moving forward.
Resilient, huh?
That's the word. And, he's had like 16, 20 flops,
Wow.
but he's still killing it.
That's impressive.
So Tiger picks up on something. He says he's still got that middle-class kid inside him.
I love that. So true.
Even with all the superstardom, he hasn't lost touch with his roots.
It's like this grounding force, right?
Totally. You see it in his work and his personal life.
Absolutely.
And speaking of roots, he wants to buy the third floor of his old apartment building.
What? The one he grew up in?
Yeah. He doesn't even want to live there, but the memories,
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
It is, right. It's not about material stuff, but about emotional connection.
It's like holding on to a piece of yourself.
And that leads him to talk about family.
Makes sense.
Family is their biggest motivation.
Oh, that's heartwarming.
I know, right? Shows they're just normal guys at heart.
Yeah, just trying to make a better life for their loved ones.
And then, get this, Tiger tells this story about how his martial arts journey started when he was 4 years old.
4.
Yeah, he watched Enter the Dragon with his parents and just decided that's what he wanted to do.
Talk about an origin story.
Isn't it? It shows how powerful movies can be.
Yeah.
And for both of them, martial arts is more than just fighting. It's about discipline and self-control.
It's a way of life, almost.
Right. It's like meditation.
Yeah, mental and spiritual benefits, too.
Exactly. Akshay even thinks martial arts should be mandatory in India.
Whoa,
He
really?
thinks it would make people more disciplined and teach them self-defense.
Wow, that's a big statement.
It is, but it shows how much he believes in it.
Yeah, it's more than just punching and kicking for him.
And then Tiger says this thing, "Sir, you have this bad boy vibe when you do comedy."
Ooh, I see that.
It's funny because Akshay's humor does have this mischievous edge.
Yeah, Tiger's more earnest and kind of, monk-like.
Totally. And Akshay says that certain directors helped him tap into that comedic potential.
Like who?
Priyadarshan and Rajkumar Santoshi.
Okay, yeah, I know them.
And guess what? A lot of his iconic lines were improvised.
Wow, really? That's amazing.
He's just naturally funny.
It shows.
And he talks about how some characters, like Wicked Sunny from Hera Fairy, really connected with people.
Oh, because they reflected his mischievous side.
Exactly.
People can tell when an actor's having fun. It makes it more engaging.
And who can forget that line from Hero Panti, "Are you a small girl?"
I mean, it became such a huge meme.
I know. Tiger doesn't even know how it happened.
It's like the internet just decides,
So true. And then they kind of come back to this idea of memes being this new type of PR. Ranveer even suggests that maybe meme culture has replaced traditional comedy.
Akshay has some comedies coming out, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's a fascinating debate.
It is.
Then things get a bit dark.
Oh, how so?
They talk about weird fan encounters, and Akshay tells this story about a fan cutting his hand.
Cutting his hand? With what?
A blade hidden in his fingernails.
Oh my God, that's scary.
It's a reminder that fame has a dark side.
Yeah, like those boundaries get blurred.
And they talk about how they deal with flops.
Makes sense. Everyone has flops.
Akshay's super philosophical about it. He says, "I have seen 16, 20 flops together. It doesn't matter."
Wow.
He says, "We make more, we try more."
It's about the journey, not just the destination.
And he jokes that Tiger still has 17 more flops to go before he catches up.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I know. It's his way of saying it's all part of the process.
It is. It's how you handle it that matters.
And Akshay really emphasizes health and well-being as the key.
Good point.
He says a healthy person is the wealthiest person.
So true. He even refuses roles that could hurt his health.
Wow, that's putting your values first.
And Pegger agrees. He says he channels stress into working out.
It's a healthy outlet for sure.
They both talk about the importance of sleep, too.
Makes a big difference.
And when Ranveer asks Akshay if he's ever done therapy, he jokes, "Physical therapy." Yes, mental therapy.
Huh?
No.
Oh, interesting.
It's funny, but it shows how differently people view mental health.
Yeah, it's a generational thing, maybe.
And for Akshay, his routine and connection to his roots are like his therapy.
It's about finding what works for you.
So true. And then they talk about money and success.
What do they say?
Akshay says he enjoys money, especially for traveling with his family.
Oh, that's nice.
He takes holidays every 3 months.
Wow, living the dream.
But he tells young people to invest sensibly, and in earning more money, don't spoil your health.
Good advice. Got to keep that balance.
Right. He's saying money isn't everything.
Yeah, it's a means to an end.
And even with his success, he says he feels pressure.
From what?
His kids.
His daughter wants him to win at her school sports day.
That's cute.
And his son wants to be faster and stronger than him.
Oh my God, that's too funny.
And then he jokes that another pressure is keeping up with Tiger Shroff.
Classic.
And then they get philosophical.
Ooh, lay it on me.
Ranveer asks about their life mantras, and Akshay shares his 4 S's.
4 S's.
Sukh, Shanti, Sveva, and Sehat.
What do they mean?
Happiness, peace, service, and health.
Those are good ones.
He says those are the pillars of a fulfilling life.
It's not just about material things, right?
Exactly. And they end by talking about Akshay's movie, Bade Mian Chot Mian.
Fun stuff.
They even listened to the Arabic version of one of the songs.
I love that they ended on a light note.
It was such an insightful conversation.
It was. We've only scratched the surface, though.
I know, right? There's so much more to unpack.
We need to go deeper.
Absolutely. Hold tight. We'll be back in a flash to continue our deep dive. All right, so we're back. And I got to say, there was so much packed into that interview.
I know, right? I'm still thinking about all those stories.
Me too. Like, it really got me thinking about how tough it must be to stay on top in Bollywood, especially with all the new talent coming in.
Yeah, it's got to be a challenge, right? You can't just rest on your laurels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Akshay's been a star for, what, like 3 decades?
Something like that. It's incredible how he's managed to reinvent himself.
Seriously. Action, romance, comedy. Now he's even killing it in the meme game.
He's adaptable, that's for sure.
It makes you wonder, like, what's the secret? How do you stay relevant when everything around you is changing?
Well, for one thing, you got to be willing to try new things, right?
Absolutely. And not be afraid to poke fun at yourself.
Yeah, that self-awareness is key.
And, let's not forget, he's still one of the highest paid actors in Bollywood.
He's consistently delivering hits, that's for sure.
It's proof that it takes more than just talent to have that kind of longevity.
It's true, talent's important, but you also got to be able to adapt, to evolve with the industry.
And, I keep coming back to that story about him wanting to buy back his childhood apartment.
Such a powerful image, isn't it?
Totally, like, here's this guy who could have anything, any mansion he wants.
But he wants to hold on to that piece of his past, those humble beginnings.
Exactly. It really makes you think about what success truly means.
It's not just about the material stuff, it's about staying connected to who you are.
And I feel like Tiger's on a similar path.
You think so? I mean, he comes from a Bollywood family. It's got to be different for him, right?
Maybe. But he still seems so driven, like he has something to prove.
I see that he's not taking anything for granted.
And he really emphasizes hard work, honing his craft.
Which is cool to see. It's like he's saying success isn't just handed to you, you gotta earn it.
And their shared passion for martial arts,
Yeah.
it really speaks to that dedication.
Yeah, it's clearly more than just a hobby for them. It's like woven into their lives.
Totally. And I love how Akshay jokes about having 4 or 5 sets of testosterone.
Classic Akshay. He's always got that playful energy.
But it also points to that intense physicality that's become his trademark.
And Tiger definitely looks up to him for that.
Oh, for sure. Remember how he said Akshay seems to be aging backward?
It's a bit of an exaggeration, but you can tell he admires that agelessness.
And that energy too, right? It's
Yeah.
infectious.
Definitely. But, it's not just about physical strength for them.
Yeah, they talked a lot about the mental and emotional benefits of martial arts too.
It's like a form of meditation for them, a way to stay grounded.
Absolutely. They see it as essential for mental well-being,
Mm.
especially in the craziness of Bollywood.
It's a good reminder for all of us, really, that taking care of your mental health is so important.
And they even got into some of the behind-the-scenes stuff about action filmmaking.
Oh, yeah, the downtime being more dangerous than the stunts.
I was surprised by that. But it makes sense when you think about it.
It does. Your body cools down, you jump back into action. That's when injuries happen.
So it's not all glamorous. There's a lot of risk involved.
They're constantly pushing their limits, and they got to be smart about it.
And then, things got really interesting when they talked about fame in the age of social media.
Oh, yeah, that whole conversation about meme culture and everything.
It's like a whole new world for celebrities these days, right? The rules have changed.
They really have. It's all about online presence, fan engagement, and staying ahead of the curve.
And Akshay seems to have really embraced it.
He has. He's using memes to connect with a younger audience. It's smart.
But he's also aware of the downsides, like that story about the fan with the blade.
Yeah, that was chilling. It shows that there are real dangers to this level of fame.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that boundaries are important, even when you're a superstar.
And then there's this whole debate about whether meme culture has replaced traditional comedy.
It's a tough one, right? Like, are memes the future of humor?
I don't know, but they've definitely had a huge impact on how we consume and share comedy.
Especially in India, it's a fascinating cultural shift.
It is, and it'll be interesting to see how it continues to play out in Bollywood.
I loved how both Akshay and Tiger talked about comedy as a way to connect with people.
Yeah, it's about breaking down barriers, being relatable.
Akshay even said that his bad boy humor comes from a place of authenticity, like he's not afraid to be himself.
And people respond to that. They see that he's genuine.
Exactly. And I think Tiger's learning from him, finding his own comedic voice.
It's cool to see their dynamic, how they bounce off each other.
So, we've heard their stories, their insights into Bollywood, their philosophies on fame and success.
It's a lot to process.
It is. But what do you think are the key takeaways here?
Well, for one thing, I think they both embody this dedication to hard work and staying true to your roots.
Those are values that resonate deeply with Indian audiences.
Absolutely. And I think it's inspiring to see them navigate this evolving world of fame and fan engagement.
They're finding ways to stay relevant while staying true to themselves.
It's a delicate balance, but they seem to be doing it with grace and humor.
And before we move on, I want to circle back to that discussion about traditional comedy versus meme culture.
Yeah, it's worth exploring further.
I mean, Akshay has some comedies coming out soon, so maybe we're seeing a resurgence of that traditional style.
Maybe, but meme culture has definitely left its mark. It's changed the landscape of humor in India.
It makes you wonder, how will this all evolve in the future? Will we see a fusion of these styles?
It's hard to say, but it's an exciting time for Bollywood. full of possibilities.
But clearly, Akshay and Tiger are going to be at the forefront of that evolution.
They're both forces to be reckoned with. I can't wait to see what they do next.
Me neither. But, going back to something we touched on earlier, Akshay's desire to buy back his childhood apartment. It really got me thinking.
About staying grounded.
Yeah, like, what are those things in our own lives that keep us connected to who we are?
It's a great question. What are those anchors that keep us from drifting away from our authentic selves?
It's something worth reflecting on, and we'll be back in a moment to continue our deep dive. Yeah, it's something to think about, isn't it? What keeps us grounded? It's like so easy to get swept up in everything, all the chaos.
It really is, especially in today's world. Everything's so fast-paced.
But Akshay and Tiger, they're like these huge stars, and they still seem so grounded.
It's inspiring, right? They haven't lost sight of who they are.
Totally, and I think a big part of that is, like, their focus on well-being.
Yeah, that really stood out to me too.
It's refreshing, to hear these guys who are known for being so physical talking about things like rest and mental health.
It's like they're pushing back against that whole hustle culture mentality.
Exactly. It's okay to slow down, take care of yourself.
And they're proving that you can still achieve incredible things while doing that.
Akshay's 4 S's, that's basically it right there, a blueprint for a balanced life.
It is happiness, peace, service, health. It's like a holistic approach.
And it's not just about external success, it's about inner well-being, too.
So true. Like, what's the point of having all the money in the world if you're not healthy enough to enjoy it?
Right. And remember what he said about earning money. Don't spoil your health.
Such wise words. It's about finding that balance, that sweet spot.
And I think both Akshay and Tiger have found it, each in their own way.
They're both so driven, but they also know how to prioritize the things that matter.
Family, rest, those things that bring joy, it's all connected.
And they're setting a great example, showing that you can have it all, but you got to be intentional about it.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Bollywood, we want to leave you with this. How can you bring more balance into your own life?
It's a great question to ask yourself, and it's a journey, right? There's no one-size-fits-all answer.
But maybe, just maybe, watching a few Bollywood movies could give you some inspiration.
It's a world full of energy, color, and, some pretty inspiring stories.
And who knows, maybe you'll even pick up a few dance moves along the way.
Yeah, that would be a sight to see.
All right. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Bollywood. We'll catch you next time for another adventure.